Okay, so after a little bit of messing about, I managed to get these on. I think they look pretty damn good. And they go well with the rest of the carbon as well that's gone on there. Very similar styles, slightly different in on the vents, but not too dissimilar from a distance. So yeah. So that looks pretty good. And then obviously there'll be the trims and everything else indoors that'll go on. But that's how they're looking. Stand back a little bit. So far, rear mirror is done. Carbon vents. Carbon holder. Although probably not the best one. It looks alright. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm thinking about painting this, painting that blue, taping all this up, and then painting that blue. I think that's what I've got kind of in mind for that. Yeah. I wish I'd have painted that little bit there, which I still can do. This means taking all the wheels off again, redoing it, but that looks pretty sick. Did wash it, but I need to get the wheels redone. They need a proper clean up and a redo. But then there you go. Off the exhaust. It still sounds great, looks good with the carbon there. I'm going to spray these bits up again. I did wash this yesterday, believe it or not. Still a bit dirty, a bit dusty. Probably needs a bit of a buff, but I'm thinking this definitely needs another coat to match the other one. I think all of that probably need to recoat it. So that's the darkest part, which that looks really good actually, but these, yeah, I need to give it a bit more of a decent coat on that. And at some point, master all this up, do this before the spoiler goes on, which the spoiler is here. I was going to drill holes in it. I don't want to drill holes in it because it's already good for, yeah, I don't really want to have to do that just to put the bolts in. So what I've done is I've purchased these fixings which will screw in. So I probably have to drill from this side a bit of a hole into there, and they should just basically screw in, and then I can put an M8, these M8 bolts into it, which what I might do is, so these ones here will go into the fixings, so I've got to bond it in, and then I've got to put that on and then find out where that sits to drill through. But that might not be the correct place to put them. I might need to move them further out, possibly. All depends on the boot where I've got to go into and where I can go into. So I might have to move these, which is fine. But I'd rather do it. I'd rather know that before I go ahead and put holes in this and then put holes in the car. But yeah, thinking about maybe just using these. That'll screw in to probably about there, maybe about there. Bond it in, get the bonding stuff. That was just basically like, I'll go into the grub, put a bit on that, screw it in, let that go off, that will then go rock solid. That will also I'll bond the grub, the little grub kind of screw that will go in here. It's like a threaded bolt that will go in. It's hard to describe it when without showing you what it is, but yeah, basically that will screw in there, then that will screw into that, and then if I bond that into there and then I bond that into that, I'll just cut these ends off, just cut the heads off there. Or the only other thing I can do is maybe I can find some threads that are small enough that even if I have to cut them down and make smaller, but as long as they're M8s, M8 threads, that's it. But yeah, I'll save the expense. No, I'll go with that. I'll just cut the ends off, and then what I'll do is I'll buy some caps, some capping nuts. So as it goes through, I'll be able to cap that in. But also, I need to know exactly how big to make this to make that effective. You can buy they're like little sleeves. They're like little sleeves. So if you have that, imagine that's exposed. You might only have so much of that going through the car. And then basically what you want to do is then you put the sleeve on it, which will then pull that in. So then what will happen is you'll put that in. All this around here will get like some bonding on it. All that around there all get bonded, like and kind of like in this area they'll have some bonding there. Also same on this side, and there's bonding in the middle there, and this will be bonded, that will be bonded, and then when it sits on, that'll be like your glue. And then when you put, before that dries, while it's still wet going off, is then you tighten everything up. That'll put everything in nice and tight, and then you just, I'll probably use that tar remover for like some tiger seal around that, which will get that off really nicely, and then that'll tidy that up, which, because it won't, tar remover you can use for the car anyway, so it won't damage the paintwork or anything else like that, but it will help tidy all this up to make a really nice seamless join. And then once that's gone off, that will basically be rock hard, and this will never, because it'd be bolted on anyway, it won't come off anyway, but I mean, it just gives it that extra on. So I mean, I didn't want to just stick it on, get it painted and all that, and then just stick it on. Bit of a faff to try and get it to stay on. You have to use loads of masking tape and things like that to get it in the right place, and then get it strapped down so it will stay. So I thought the best thing to do is get some bolts, and then just work that fixing. So originally what I was going to do was I was going to drill all the way through. And then make a little bigger hole here where that will come through. Countersink the bolt into it, and then obviously like bond it in there so it won't come out, right? So it'll be totally fixed in, and then fill it, sand it, and then get them to spray it. But the thing is you might see like an imperfection in that, which I don't want. Which you probably could cover it up with, it did like a couple of coats of primer or something like that. But then that is, you know, I just thought, well, actually, do you know what? If you can buy the little grub things that will screw in, it will save them to drill all the way through, which will keep that surface really nice, because no one's going to see anything under here. Like, you're going to see like these parts here, like here, you're going to see that, but you're not going to see this, you're not going to see this or this. And when they finish off what they're doing, when they've prepped it and they've finished it, that should be a really nice piece. But it's all about the price at the moment. It's flipping expensive. I think for this it works out something like in the region of around 400 quid for 400 quid's worth of work for them to for one place I've been to basically get that done, and I just think, well, I don't know. If I had the equipment, I'd have sprayed it up myself, but I haven't got the compressor, or the paint cans, and then the mixing gear and everything else to do that. But or the spray booth, which is a bit annoying. But it's probably, I could probably get away with spraying it outside. It'd be all right. But yeah. So whatever I do, it's then it's still got to have a like kind of a lacquer on the top of it. But I do really want to get it hydro dipped. I do want to get it dipped. But the company like that I've been to, they would want to do all the prep work from start to finish, just so they can stand by what they do, which is fair enough. I understand that, but then it's not cheap. I think there is someone out there that can do this for me, which will still be a reasonable price. I'm not like a total cheapskate, but I just think for what I want, I need to think of everything else I'm laying out. I need the costs to be like right for me. So hopefully I can find someone local in to Norwich that'll be able to do this. Yeah. So then once that's gone on, obviously you've got to think there's that. Then there is this. I probably can actually get rid of this box, to be honest now. I'll store this under the bed. But this is a Maxton design. I got this at a really good price from a fella off one of the groups I'm part of. And basically, this I'll probably have to clean this up a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean it up quite a bit. But that will then if that sits there like that will then just sit on there like that. I'll line that up perfectly, and then that'll sit on there like that, and then that's basically what you'll end up with. So I think that just gives it a little bit, a little bit extra. Obviously when it's all done, it's all painted up, that'll have a nicer surface to kind of stick to. But yeah, definitely I'll have a go at cleaning this up, cleaning the back of that up, just to, and then I'll refix that. Yet again, bit of for this, because it's not really anything structural. I can probably bond that to that, clamp it to it, and use some Tiger Seal underneath that. Because once you've clamped it on, and once that's gone off, that'll stay in there. Or I might use the I might just use the Gorilla Glue stuff that I was going to get for that bonding agent, because it's like a 2-part stuff, which if I put that on there, it should go off within about 5 minutes. So you won't have to hold it on there very long, and that'll just finish. Yeah, that will just finish it off just nicely. Some people might say, well, why don't you get a bigger like spoiler cap for a 5-door? But actually you'll find that this is a very common design, and it doesn't need to stretch the whole way across. It's just to give it that little bit of a distinctive flick. So once you hold that on there, that'll be fine. Right, and that's where we're at the moment. So stay tuned for the next stay tuned for the next bit of progress.